Afternoon, Scott.
Good afternoon, Neil.
It's been a moment or 2 months that we've done an AAR, but here we are back at it again. How do you
Yeah,
feel?
it's been a while.
Yeah. The last scenario we played was Knock Them Down. Is from Lone Canuck Publishing's module, The Steelworks. Has to do with fighting around a steelworks around, I think, Caen, France.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
German versus British, and you picked the British, so I got the Germans. My advantages are lots of fortifications, terrain. As I'm the defender, there's a lot of factory buildings to defend. I have lots of guns, and I have deadly tigers as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Disadvantages: these are special units or units abnormal to normal ASL. I had brutal morale level, brutal ELR, and the time factor to defend these buildings. There's absolutely no roar balance for these. I don't know of anyone who's played this scenario. How about you?
As far as the British go, there's a lot of them. So I got numbers for an advantage. Lots of Shermans, uh, good morale, ELR, and Pipers. Pipers were cool. Um, Disadvantages: terrain. It's just line of sight hindrances. I mean, it's kind of helpful to attack, but it's slow going. The victory conditions are a little tough, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah. So my German setup, I set up first, obviously. A lot of fortifications. I think I set up the minefields incorrectly. I think they should have been hidden. I messaged George about this, the module designer, and he said you can do either. But after reading the rules and asking elsewhere, I believe my mine should have been set up hidden, which probably would have been worse for you, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So I set them up revealed. Um, so I use them to try to limit your approach more than anything. Um, Everything's kind of concealed here, but I set up all my mortars on factory rooftops to give field of fire through all that open area. And I kind of set up my anti-tank guns on the flank to prevent your Shermans from outflanking me. And then I have reinforcements that come in on variable turns depending on how I roll. And the victory conditions, I'll let you speak to the victory conditions since you're attacking.
I needed to blow up the two smokestacks.
Yeah.
Part of the steelworks there. They're on the lower half of the map.
Yeah, the lower one isn't shown in this
Yeah,
view, but
yeah,
yeah, it's off the map edge a little.
yeah. I had two giant demo charges, the Hayricks, that I could use to blow them up. Um, I never got that far. Never really got a chance to use them. But as far as my setup, it's kind of the scenario. It's a little limited. Certain areas you got to set up, and there's so many units. I mean,
Yeah.
the British just kind of spread out and cover the whole top edge of the board, really. So, and most of the stuff is out of your range or out of your line of sight. So you can just about put them, but just about anywhere, really.
Yeah, your initial setup, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. My plan attack. I don't know. I was just going to. I wanted to try and drive down both flanks, I
Mhm.
guess. Because I was. I don't know. For some reason, I was really worried about your hidden bunkers. And I just figured there must be one right in front of the first factory building, but
Yeah,
so I kind of want to avoid that area. But
there was sort of the action's kicking off here. My hidden bunker, I have one in S15. I'll highlight it here in the video. Then I had one over on the left flank in I-14. Then I had one in the rear right next to the first smokestack in the D20, D21 area, I guess, to try to protect
yeah,
that.
never found that one. I don't think.
Now
Or
you found there, yeah, you ran across the other two, or I fired on you
yeah.
guys to reveal them, but you never hit the second or the third one back there. And you can see,
Uh,
go ahead.
oh, I just I'm driving down the board. I seriously was trying to cover. I mean, it's 12 turns long,
Mhm.
but I know, as well as you know, it's like you never have enough time. So I was
Seems that way, yeah.
seriously, yeah, I was seriously trying. I was trying to cover as much ground as I could without taking too many risks. But
12 turns is a long time. It seems like a long time, but it turns into a slog. Um, you never move as fast as you think you're going to.
no, the terrain, especially the wheat fields and the plowed fields, uh, they take their toll. They slow you down.
Yeah, and some of this terrain is the only real area that you have good line of sight to, at least at ground level, is that very center area with all the shell holes. Everywhere else, there's
Hmm.
debris blocking line of sight, hedges, walls, rubble. The line of sights on this map are really, really tricky. My only units that had good line of sight at the beginning were my mortars, my deadly 81 millimeter mortars on the rooftops.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, you set them up on the rooftops, and that was a good play because I'm not sure how many people would really think about doing that. But you covered my whole approach. The beginning it was I think just the front two, but
Yeah,
um, and you just went on, kept going on these rate of fire tears, and those things, 81 millimeter or whatever.
right. With
Yeah,
a three
you were
rate of fire.
right, and you just started tearing me up right away.
Putting them on the roof is a risk because there's no TEM. You get no TEM
Right.
on the roof except height advantage, right? So I only started getting worried from like your medium machine guns and your heavy machine gun and your some of your AMVs. I wasn't too worried about your infantry unless they got it really close.
Right, because I didn't have really dragging those. That was another issue I had was I had two mediums, but they're heavy, and
Hmm.
so they were dragging those things around. Part of and I wanted to set up my heavy with my 9-2, and I wanted to hopefully take out those two front mortars, but
Hmm.
you ended up taking out my 9-2 with your
Oh, that's
sniper
right. Yep, really
on the very
early.
first turn,
Yep.
and so that pretty much took that heavy out of the game. 'Cause I tried to drag it up the road, but it just took so long.
Yeah, slow moving. Um, you revealed my two anti-tank guns. I have one on the right in X14 to cover the kind of the road coming down from the back, and I had the other one over on the left on the other side of the canal or river, thinking you might bring some of your vehicles down that road and try to flank me, but you never did. So I
Mhm.
spent most of the game trying to push that goddamn anti-tank gun down that road to get it into some kind of position to do something. So that was kind of a
Yeah.
wasted gun over there.
Well, kind of, but not really. I mean, it could have served a purpose, but the other anti-tank gun, though, it did the job of two anti-tank guns.
Yeah, that thing
You've already
was,
killed, you killed two Shermans already with it,
yep, right down that road.
and then this is one of my. I kind of just, wow, this was a big, pretty much a big mistake on my part. I thought I could go after that gun with my Shermans. I mean, like I was kind of just thought, "Oh, how hard is it to hit a gun, But
It's kind of
as
hard,
we're gonna see, as we're gonna see, uh, you end up taking out five Shermans with that thing.
something like
This is
that.
part of it. Yeah, I'm coming in. I'm gonna try and uh, get you from two different angles, but my infantry, I really wanted my infantry to get up there and do something with that gun, but it was just taking too long. And yeah,
Yeah, and those anti-tank guns were, what were they, Pack 30s or something? They had 75 Ls, and
hmm,
you had frontal armor 8. I think I needed like a 9 to kill. So if I got a hit, and a rate of fire too. If I got a hit, I had a good chance of getting a kill. So yeah, that's a pretty decent anti-tank gun you're going up against.
Yeah, it was just it just became brutal. It ended up just well, we're on turn 3 now, but it took me just a maximum effort to finally take that gun out, and by that time, and it took a toll on me, just that one gun.
Hmm. As a
But
pack
uh,
40 anti-tank gun. Yeah.
yeah, and the wire and the minefields. I mean, they slowed me down too. I
Hmm.
drove through some of the minefields, created trail breaks to get the infantry through, and some of it, a lot of them were just 6 firepower. You could almost just run through them, and if you want to take a chance.
Yeah, the most that would probably
Uh,
happen is you'd get a morale
yeah,
check, probably.
yeah. So, but still, kind of funneled me.
Yeah, which was
Oh, and it,
what I wanted to do with them. Yeah, kind of funnel you
well, the wire is the worst. You can't. But
slow. Yeah.
I've already malfunctioned a main armament on one of my Shermans. I think
You,
I mouthed like 3 or 4 of them.
yeah, I don't. That was really weird. And when we were playing, I had flashbacks to Decision at Else because I had British vehicles malfunctioning guns all over the place as well. I
Yeah,
believe
this is
I believe he had two. Correct me if I'm wrong. Two that were recalled because you broke
yeah,
the main armament. Two. Yeah,
yeah, 2 or 3.
it was
Yeah,
pretty
two or
bad.
three. I was able to repair one of them, but that was it. But
I think he repaired it and it broke again, didn't
that's right. I think I did. Yeah,
it?
it
They
was
found,
like
or they found one shell. I found one.
serious. I didn't have much luck with smoke either. I mean, I didn't have the best smoke exponents on a lot of my stuff,
No.
but still, I couldn't really. I think I was able to get smoke a couple times. The other problem I had was with my OBA. I had a leader with the radio, and I think your sniper something happened to that leader. I think your sniper took him out too,
Yeah.
and then the radio was just, it was just laying there, and it took me a couple turns to go pick up the radio, and then the line of sight. I never really ended up. It just took so long. I never really. I don't think I ever really even used my OBA. Maybe
I
one
don't
fire
think so.
mission.
Yeah, my SAN was 5, and you rolled a lot of 5s in this game. And I rolled a lot of 1s, I think, on
Well,
activation.
that's yeah. There wasn't like an over. I mean, you had a lot of sniper activations. Probably not a ton, but every time you got one, you either rolled a 1 or a 2.
Yeah.
Pretty much, it was. My sniper didn't hardly do anything. Uh,
And I tried to drop some smoke while I could. I forget what my smoke exponent was. It's probably an 8 or something. I think I got some smoke, mainly just I think I got some around your heavy machine gun or your mediums. I just didn't want them shooting at me.
yeah, mediums. Yeah,
And I think over by my anti-tank gun, I dumped smoke. Or maybe you dumped that smoke.
yeah, because you've killed 5 of the Shermans now, and I'm finally. Yeah, I'm trying to get. I got some infantry up there, but they just your mortars were covering it, and they were breaking.
Yeah,
The
there's
whole
smoke all
battle.
over there now.
Yeah, the whole
Yeah,
battle for that anti-tanking was just crazy.
there was a furious fight around that wall area, around the anti-tank gun. I think it was holding you up. You didn't want to bring any more vehicles down. That was my perception.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, after I lost, I guess the 5, I was like, yeah, screw it. I'm not. I kind of just hit them, and I
Hmm.
just waited another turn or two for the infantry to get up there, but it still was a battle. It still was just.
But here's the rub. On my first reinforcement roll, on turn 4, I
Yeah.
rolled a 1, and then I rolled and got my 2 tigers or 3 tigers
Hmm.
in on my first reinforcement turn.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like, okay, I finally got rid of this anti-tank gun, and then you get your tigers, and
Yeah,
it's
they
like,
come
oh,
rolling
now
in.
now I'm totally screwed. So I pretty much knew that was the end of my. Actually, I mean, I kind of got lucky. I mean, I went after 1 or 2 of the tigers pretty aggressively, and
I think he
I
might have
did end
got
up
one.
killing one of them.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I got a couple lucky rolls on the Mark IV.
yeah,
Took out one of your Mark IVs, but
yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of start. I think it was probably about this point where I thought I finally started to make some progress, pushing down the board, and I was starting to. You were falling back, and I'm
Yep.
like, well, this might. I still might be able to make this happen because we're only on turn 5, your turn 5, but
Yeah,
then shortly after this, it just kind of all went downhill again.
that's right. I remember there's a turn where you did well and I did poorly. At least that was the
Hmm.
perception. And then I thought, I'm not going to go toe to toe with you. You have too much stuff. Plus, I think you got, didn't you get some more reinforcements come in sometime? But yeah, I was just going to, I needed to pull back in a regular manner to set up lines of defense just to keep you at bay. I wasn't going to try to go toe to toe.
Yeah, I mean, it's like at this point, I finally broke your original defensive line, I think,
Mhm.
and you had a lot of broken guys. You don't have a lot of guys to begin with,
No, no.
so everyone that breaks, it's like it's tough. Um, yeah, and I was starting to make some good progress, and then I think that was when we kind of quit for the day, and then the next time we played, it was just totally turned around.
You took out the two crews and those two frontal mortars there in that first factory.
That helped. I finally, yeah, quieted those mortars up.
Mhm.
That helped, but
I think
because
I had plans
there
to
was.
get back in there, but I don't think I ever did. To grab one of them, but I don't think I made it.
I mean, I think there was I know there was a. I mean, the rate of fire tears with those mortars. I mean, there was one time when you shot one mortar like 7 times in a
Yeah,
row,
yeah.
and
It just
I
kept
think
going.
you broke something every time, and
I got a critical hit once that I remember. Just totally
mhm.
smoked something. Yeah, so
But
I'm
I ended up losing a lot of leaders. I don't
yeah.
remember exact. I think I lost what 4 or 5 leaders. I think I don't. It was.
Yeah, my sniper was all over the place.
And that ended up really hurting me because I ended up with broken guys everywhere.
Down below
But
with your malfunctioned Sherman, you had a
mhm.
rear shot. Did you roll a 12 on a rear shot on that Tiger? Is that what happened? Or is that bait?
uh,
Or is he malfunctioned and you're trying to bait me? I can't remember.
I think that was already malfunctioned.
Yeah, maybe
I
it
think
was.
I was. I don't.
Yeah, I think it was already
No, I
malfunctioned, and
don't.
I turned and smoked him because I didn't want you to repair him and have him sitting right behind me.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. I was hoping. I just drove up there. I was hoping I could get lucky, roll a 1, and then
Yeah.
repair it, and then get a shot at you. Yeah, that's what.
Um, over on the right, or sorry, left. Well, my anti-tank gun, you must have taken out the crew at some point. Because the gun's just sitting there by itself. But I also have an anti-aircraft gun over there that was revealed, and he got some shots off. I don't think he was super impactful, but I think it kept you honest on that side.
Yeah, I think the IFE is only like 6, but
Yeah.
yeah, I ended up making. I think we're on turn 7 now. It's getting to the point where pretty soon here I start making just a lot of just desperation moves, trying to get lucky, make something happen.
Mhm.
But so I had like on that left, you got that tiger on the left, and I remember I had like a squad, I think maybe a hero with a Piat, and I
You swarmed him.
trying to rush him, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I think you placed that demo charge, but you forgot to take your patsy, and we
Oh
we
yeah,
redid it, and he failed, and we had to take the
yeah.
demo charge off
Rolled
of it.
like rolled like crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have OBA going now. I saw spotting around up here for a second, but line of sight. My OBA guy was. It's in I have a spotter in hex EE something right at the very bottom of the board,
Yeah.
but the line of sights because of these little strips of orchards and stuff. There were like
Mhm.
little windows that I could see through to get OBA in on you. It was really a little difficult.
Yeah, I love the map. I think the map's really cool. I love the terrain. There's so much kind of new and different terrain. The debris hexes. It's kind of a nightmare for both sides.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's line of sight hindrance hell. It's this is a lot like Elst.
Yeah.
The whole
Similar but different. Yeah. It's another one of those boards that's line of sight is deceptive. When you start, you look at it and you think it's pretty much open. Then you start reading the rules and start placing units and trying to shoot at stuff, and you're like, God, I can't see that, or there's like +4 hindrances or something. Yeah, it's kind of a deceptive map.
well, we got that melee in the center too, and it's like if I remember right, I think I had 3 squads in there. I had you like 3 to 1 or something, and I couldn't kill you for like 2 turns or something. It
Yeah,
was
I tied you up for a bit there.
uh,
So I've pretty much fallen everybody back to the second factory, and I got some reinforcements riding on, I think, Panzer IVs, I think. Yeah, rode in, and they're going to start bolstering the area around the first smokestack there, because you're on turn 8. You basically have like 4 turns left to take those 2 smokestacks, which at this point is probably not doable. Your other option was hexes, 3 hexes within 17 or something had to be clear of German units,
mhm.
and you could win if you didn't capture both smokestacks. So you had basically had to clear that entire factory complex in the next 4 turns or so. And
Yeah.
I was trying to get dug in as much as I could.
Well, yeah, and I don't remember if maybe you do, but how many hours we spent playing this? I mean, it's the video. We're moving along pretty
Yeah,
good, but
it was a lot. It
we
was
yeah.
well, we estimated. I think I estimated that this was equivalent to about half the Decision at El's campaign game, which took us quite a while. It's a big scenario. There's tons of units. There's a lot of toys, weird line of sight, OBA, fortifications. There's a lot of stuff.
Well, I think we were getting like maybe basically a turn a session. I think
Maybe. Yeah.
maybe sometimes it
It
was like if it
was.
was British, if it was the British player turn, maybe that was like all we got done.
Yeah.
And if you figure 3, we were playing probably 3, maybe 4 hours a session. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was
This one took us a while. And we're coming to the end here. It looks like we're at 38 seconds left in the video. Yeah, it's on turn 9. I think we're getting at this point where we're probably at the end of the session. We started debating, you know,
hmm
are you going to be able to take this or not? And I think or you were the one to call it, and you called it here at the end.
Yeah, I think there was one point where we both talked about it, and it's like, well, it's doubtful that I can win, but it's like, well, let's just play one more British player turn and see what happens. See if I could get lucky, but I
Oh,
couldn't get lucky. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
game over. I
there's a
threw in
white
the
flag.
towel. There's like still 3 turns left, but there's just I had just no leaders left, a bunch of broken guys everywhere.
Well,
No armor. Um,
and you didn't know about the fortified building locations at the time or the bunker. So you would have had to clear all of that out um,
yeah,
to win. And I had guys that were going to move in or retreat into all those locations. So to take me out of those fortified buildings would have been really difficult.
yeah. Uh, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I hate to lose, but Uh, it was fun. Like I said, I love the map and pretty interesting scenario, really. And if you look at the OBs, they're just so lopsided. But I tell you what, the Germans just uh, they don't really need a lot to defend this area, really.
No, I think I had some luck on my side. I think my mortars survived longer than I actually thought they were going to be honest.
Yeah, those things were such a huge pain in my ass. I
Yeah.
tell you,
And I
the
broke
whole
one
game.
or two at one point, but I repaired them right away. Things like that. Tale of the dice. Yeah, at the beginning, I was hot. Okay, you can see there in the center where we had that reversal of fortune that we talked about. You had like a really good day or session, and
Yeah,
I had a really bad one. And you were getting confidence, like, yeah, I can do this. And I'm getting discouraged, thinking, oh God, he's just going to swarm me now. But then it flipped again.
yeah, it just flipped right there. It just flipped
Yeah,
totally. Yeah,
yeah.
and then pretty even at the end. But um,
Oh, you can see the sniper die rolls there. I had 15 activations, and I rolled, or no, I rolled a one 10 times and a two 5 times out of the,
yeah,
I can't remember how many activations I had, but I rolled a one or a two 15 times from those activations. It's crazy.
yeah. I mean, I felt like I mean, there was some bad play on my part. Trying to take out your AT gun with Sherman's was stupid, but that cost me something. But I also I kind of felt like a lot of it, I just struggled to, I don't know, get the rolls when I needed them, or
Yeah, it's a big
the
scenario.
attrition. Yeah, I mean, and the attrition really starts to. I mean, it felt historical. Attrition really adds up, makes it tough for the British.
Yeah, I think historically this represents the first attempt. I think there were two attempts to blow up the smokestacks, which were being used as spotting or observation posts by the Germans. And they wanted them cleared out. I think they made two attempts. I think this represents the first one. And historically, I think the British failed. The British and Scottish failed. And the Germans brought in their Tigers, and the Tigers just decimated all their Shermans, which is pretty much what happened in this
Yeah,
scenario.
pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it was fun. It was one of those, like, especially for me, losing. It's like I really would like to another shot at that because it was, it was fun. It was intricate. Uh, but then again, it's like there's so much other ASL to play. So
Yeah, this module, I know we're going overtime, so viewers, if they made
yeah.
it this far, may be staring at a blank screen, but I think there are 4 or 5 scenarios in this module. I doubt we'll play it again because I think the other scenarios are just kind of subsets of what we played, which is like the whole big map, tons of units.
Hmm.
So to be honest, we probably won't revisit any of these
No.
scenarios, but yeah, it was still a lot of fun. And the pack
Yeah.
is reasonably priced. I think it's only $25, and there's a lot of playtime you can get out of it.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good times.
Else 2.0. No. Is this gonna leave you with PTSD like Else did?
Probably. It's
No.
just the opposite. British playing the British. Uh, I don't. We both had trouble playing Commonwealth before playing British. Seems like they can struggle at times.
Yeah. I mean, I had my ups and downs playing them in Else, but they won in the end. But I had a lot of
Yeah.
issues with armor in there. I don't know if it's the
Yeah.
way I was playing it. I know I had some shit rolls early, playing British armor, but yeah, Germans are always. Even though I had low ELR and low morale, especially broken side morale, I don't think it really came into play. I didn't break that much in this scenario. But the Germans are usually pretty solid as far as well-rounded order of battle.
Yeah. Well, and being concealed and hidden, and your reinforcements
Yeah,
all helped.
yeah, getting the Tigers the first turn helped a lot.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. I know when I rolled that one, you're like, oh god. And then I rolled, I think a one, whatever reinforcement group that was. I rolled whatever it was for the Tigers, and you're probably like, oh great.
I should have just quit then.
Like fuck, screw this game.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I don't know
Uh,
what we're gonna play next because we haven't played anything next. But whatever it ends up being, that's the video we'll do.
PTO.
Oh yeah, we were talking about getting into PTO. I actually started reading the rules a while back. Yeah.
Yep, PTO.
Are we gonna jump right into PTO, or are we gonna play something else and read the rules? What are we gonna do?
We'll just do PTO light,
PTO light. Just pick something that doesn't have like
dense
caves and
jungle.
rice
Yeah.
paddies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that. Cool. PTO coming up. It's been a while since we played PTO.
SK. Yeah.
Yeah, starter kit. Working through that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Good game, and I'll see you in the PTO
Later.
later.